This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Simon Preston, and welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the channel where we come together to discuss more about Jamaican football. So, let's get right into the match, shall we? As we know, there is another friendly match that will be coming up for the Jamaican team, one that we'll have to look forward to, one that is coming up, you could say, in about 6 weeks from now, 5.5, 6 weeks from now. And that is something where we have to turn our attention to, as November 9, 2022, the Reggae Boys will take on World Cup bound Cameroon. Yes, the indomitable Lions of Africa, Cameroon, in Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon, and this will be at the Olembe Stadium. So that match is confirmed, and that will be on the 9th of November. So that's a good game to look forward to. Cameroon, as we know, boasts a lot of history within the footballing world. We know that in terms of their performances, we saw them at the World Cup back in the 80s, but in 1990 was where everyone sort of fell in love with them. But can you believe it that apart from their run at the 1990 World Cup, they haven't been past the group stages since? I mean, they won a game at the 2002 World Cup thanks to Samuel Eto'o scoring against Saudi Arabia. But apart from that, 1990 was their only moment where they really thrived at a World Cup. So let's see how things go in 2022 as they prepare for the tournament itself. Samuel Eto'o, as we know, is their top scorer with 56 goals in 118 games, and Rigobert Song, who is now their head coach, is their most capped player with 137 appearances. Cameroon, they're right now on a 2-game losing streak at this point in time. In the World Cup itself, they'll play Brazil, Serbia, and Switzerland. So those are the games they'll have in the group stages of the World Cup. And Jamaica will more or less be their last game of the tournament itself. Eka Reeks, good morning. How are you? I hope you're doing well. So I figured, what is Jamaica's record like against African teams? Is it a good one? Is it a mixed one? So I figured, let's do some digging, shall we? And let's see how the Jamaican team has done. Let's start with Egypt. What is Jamaica's record like against Egypt? Well, Jamaica played Egypt in a friendly match in 2014, and that game was in England. That match ended 2-2. Yes, that's right. And guess what? The Jamaican team actually took the lead in this game. Yeah, they did in this 2-2 draw. They took the lead in this 2-2 draw, So it was quite well, you know. So match ended 2-2. Winfred Schaefer was the head coach of the team. And did you know Mohamed Salah played in this game? Yes, Jamaica played Mohamed Salah, but a lot of people don't remember that. Yep. No, Simon Dawkins and Joel Grant were on the score sheet for the Jamaican team, while Mohamed El Nene and Bassem Morsi scored for the Egyptian side. They took the lead in the fifth minute. Simon Dawkins then equalized. Joel Grant made it 2-1. And then in the 72nd minute, the Egyptians won the game. That day for the Jamaican team, Jacobina Barrett in goal, Lloyd Doyley, Hugh Gray, Adrian Mariappa, Wes Morgan, Kimar Lawrence, Rudolph Austin, Joel Grant, Maria Campbell, without Nicholas Beckett, Chris Humphrey, Simon Dawkins, Jamar Loza, Michael Seaton, and Dino Williams. On the bench that didn't get to play, Upston Edwards, Nikolai Finlayson, Ryan Thompson, John Ross Edwards. On the Egyptian side of things, we spoke about Mohamed Salah, Ahmed El Nene, Hassan Ghali, Ahmed El Shanawi. So those are some key players that took the field for the Egyptians on that particular day. Now we know what our record is like against Egypt. What was Jamaica's record like against Zambia? Because Jamaica has played Zambia on 4 occasions. What is Jamaica's record like against Zambia? Well, as it relates to Zambia in particular, Jamaica has played them 4 times, won one, drawn one, and lost two. All of these fixtures against Zambia came in the year 1995, of course, under René Simoes. The first one in August 1995, the match ended 1-1, and then Jamaica won the second one by 3 goals to 1. Yes, that is right. The second match ended in 3 goals to 1. Linval Dixon and Walter Boyd scoring a brace on that occasion. 1995 in November, Zambia won 1-0 and 4-2. 1-0 and 4-2 on that occasion. In the match that ended 4-2, Walter Boyd scored a brace for the Jamaicans there in that game in particular. And it's quite interesting when you bear in mind Zambia and their sort of footballing history, because despite their prowess that we've seen, for an example, in the Africa Cup of Nations, which we know that they won in 2012, they still have not qualified for a World Cup. They've never qualified for a World Cup. And to be quite frank, I think they're the best African team that has yet to qualify for a World Cup. So that's where we are in this scenario as it relates to Zambia. So now that we have Zambia out of the way, what is Jamaica's record like against South Africa, another African team, South Africa? Because the Jamaicans have played South Africa on 5 occasions. And, more or less, these results have all ended in one result, apart from the last result. But I will explain the reasoning for that quite shortly. So, Jamaica has played South Africa on 5 occasions. 5 occasions they played South Africa. They've drawn four and lost one against South Africa. Drawn four and lost one. In 1999, Jamaica drew 1-1 with South Africa. Yes, that is right. The first encounter ended in a 1-1 draw, and Theodore Tappa Whitmore scored for the Jamaicans in that match in particular. It took place at the National Stadium in 1999. The second time both teams met, April 30, 2003. This was in Cape Town in South Africa. Donovan Ricketts pulling off some amazing saves in that game in particular. That team also included Tyrone Marshall, Claude Davis, Michael Johnson, Damien Stupi Stewart, Omar Daly, Jermaine Johnson, Fitzroy Simpson, Paul Hall, Darren Byfield, Gerald Neal. So that was a team for the 0-0 draw. Gold Cup 2005, and this was an interesting one, I tell you. Really, really interesting one. It was a seesaw game. South Africa scored, then Jermaine Hugh equalized. South Africa scored, then Damien Stupi Stewart equalized. South Africa scored, then Tiafoe Bennett equalized. 3-3 on that day in particular. 2009, both teams played each other again, and this was in Bloemfontein, also in South Africa, prior to the 2010 World Cup. And that match ended 0-0. Dwayne Miller, Jermaine Taylor, Shavar Thomas, Rudy Austin, Decoy Williams, Jamal Campbell Rice, Teddy Johnson, Jason Morrison, Demar Phillips, Dane Richards, Devon Hodges. Eric Vernon got to play, Cummings, Navian Boyd, Richard Edwards, Adrian Reed, and Lavelle Palmer. Yep. Those were the individuals, yeah. So yeah. And of course, the last time both teams met was 2010, and South Africa won that game by 2 goals to nil. So let me explain. I think this game was on a Wednesday, and the fixture was confirmed very, very late. The fixture was confirmed very, very late. And the team actually arrived in, because the match was in Germany. The team arrived in Germany some 30 hours before the game. No fault of the JFF here. The fixture was arranged late by the match organizer. It was a late sort of game that was decided. So by the time the team arrived, they went to bed, and then I don't think they had one training session, and they took the field, and South Africa won the game 2-0. So yeah, it was April 2010 in Germany. Dwayne Carr, Desmond Breckenridge, Jermaine Taylor, Xavier Verga, Javon Watson, Decoy Williams, Richard Edwards, Nabian Boyd, Kevin Bryan, Kemar Daly, Ryan Johnson. That was the starting 11 for the Jamaican team in this particular game. Mario Swaby took the field, Ricardo Cousins, Romario Campbell, Nicolai Finlayson, Jerry Walters, and Devon Hodges. They were the other players that came up off the bench in that game. So 4 drawn games and 1 lost result in this game. So we've looked at Zambia, we've looked at Egypt, we looked at South Africa. Now, what about Morocco? What is Jamaica's run like against Morocco? Yeah? What has Jamaica's run been like against Morocco? Because they played Morocco a few times in particular. So Jamaica has played Morocco twice. The first time came in 2000 in the King Hassan Cup, which was played in Morocco, and that game ended 1-0 to the Moroccans. That was June 4, 2000, and that day, the Jamaican starting 11 read Donovan Ricketts, Chris Dawes, Shorty Malcolm, Michael Johnson, Jermaine Hugh, Jermaine Johnson, Andy Williams, Paul Hall, Claude Davis, Fabian Davis, and Linval Dixon, Winston Griffiths, Dwayne Richards, and Andrew O'Neill were the players that played for the Jamaican team in that game. So yeah, and of course the second time was a 3-0 defeat in August, which of course was a, I don't want to say a makeshift squad, but a squad that was put together, and Jamaica lost that game by 3 goals to nil. So that's Morocco. So now that we've looked at Morocco, what about Ghana? Well, let's see. Ghana. So Jamaica has played Ghana twice, 1999 and 2006. 1999, the match ended 2-1 to Ghana, and that match was played in Ghana, in Accra. Graham scored for the Jamaicans in that game as the match ended 2-1. And the second occasion came in 2006 in England, where Ghana won by 4 goals to 1. Suleiman Tari scored for them. There was his own goal from Stu Pease. Stephen Appiah scored, and Matthew Amoa scored. The goal scorer for the Jamaican team, Jason Ewell. Jason Ewell. And Ghana had quite a team that day with Michael Essien, Suleiman Tari, Azam Moajian, as they won by 4 goals to 1. Hmm. Quite an eye-opening sort of result, you know? Hmm. So, we look at Ghana, Morocco, South Africa, Zambia. Hmm. What about Nigeria? What is Jamaica's record like against Nigeria? Is it a positive one? Well, let's have a look. Jamaica has defeated Nigeria once, lost twice, and had 3 drawn results. 1998 was the first time both teams met, and that game was at the National Stadium. Of course, as we know, Nigeria's great run that they had the Olympics prior. Bor Milutinovic was the head coach of Nigeria for this particular game. Yep, that's right. Ian Goodison and Andy Williams scored for the Jamaicans. This Ghana team this Nigeria team had quality too. Sunday Adu, Ahmed Garba, Kingsley Obikweo, Jero Shakapoke. So it was a good team that Nigeria set out on the day. Both teams met again in 2001. This was Joby McAnuff's debut for Jamaica, as he came on in the 55th minute for Omar Daly. And James Obiopra scored for Nigeria. Both teams met again in November of that same year in Lagos, Nigeria. Jamaica did well to hold them to a 0-0 draw. Aaron Lawrence, Ian Goodison, Tyrone Marshall, Claude Davis, Ricardo Gardner, Micah Hyde, Andy Williams, Dion Burton, Kevin Lisby, Robert Scarlett, Craig Zadie. Yeah, they did a good job. A really, really good job. And from the defensive perspective, it was a great, great, great result. And I'm really, really glad. Team Ultras, check in. What's going on? Up, my bro. Up. Oh, you're doing good. And of course, the famous victory, May 25, 2003. Anandi Lowe gave the Jamaicans the lead in this game. And then, after that, let me tell you something. It was a seesaw game. The first half, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Andy Lowe scored. And on the break, Teddy Johnson made it 2-0 in the 40th minute. Then the second half came. A Nigerian scored twice, with Noah Nukanu scoring the equalizer in the 77th minute. Nigerian flags flying around the grandstand. Absolutely flying. People saying that the match is going to end 3-2. Well, guess what? It did end 3-2, all right. Andy Williams beating Sunday Rotimi from his near post. Andy Williams with a bomber just outside the 8-yard box, 6-yard box. And rifling the net from the near post. Scenes, I tell you. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think Aaron Lawrence should have played that game because Donovan Ricketts was doing a good job. But we won the game nonetheless. The year after, 2004, Nigeria won 2-1 in the Unity Cup in England. Of course, Jamaica fell 1-0 to Ireland as part of that tour as well. And the last time both teams met was the last time that Dion Burton took the field for Jamaica. And this was in 2009. And this was a game that, sparked a lot of conversation, especially bearing in mind this was John Barnes' first game in charge of Jamaica outside of the island. And it was a game where, guess what? Zavin Hines was on the bench. And Zavin Hines didn't take the field for Jamaica. Zavin Hines, Jamaican-born, did not take the field for Jamaica. So, yeah. And it was a game as well where Tyrone Mears played for Jamaica, even though he doesn't have Jamaican heritage. So that's another conversation altogether. But yeah, Marlon King, Shelton, DeMar Phillips, Jason Morrison, Teddy Johnson, Rudy Austin, Stu Pease, Claude Davis, Tyrone Marshall, all played in that game in particular. Campbell Rice, Wolver Wolf, Eric Vernon, Omar Daly, Dion Burton played as well. There's a red card given on the stroke of halftime to both teams. Both teams played 10 players each. Taiwo and Teddy Johnson both were issued a red card. So both teams played with 10 players. And, I must give credit for Sean Sawyers for the way he played in this game. He did very well. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hope everyone is doing well. So, has Jamaica defeated African teams before? Yes. Jamaica's defeated Nigeria once, and Jamaica has also defeated Zambia once. Jamaica has drawn against Egypt, and Jamaica lost against Ghana twice and lost against Morocco twice. So in terms of teams that Jamaica have beaten, Jamaica has defeated Nigeria, and Jamaica has also defeated Zambia. Nigeria and Zambia are the two African teams that Jamaica has defeated as we look ahead now to face the Cameroon team coming up on the November 9th. So, yes, still another 5.5 weeks to go, but I think it was imperative to show you guys, in particular, the record that Jamaica has, and I think it's imperative that we looked at that in particular, the the record, and being able to see how Jamaica has done. And it's something to ponder, something to think about as well in relation to these teams. So that's something for us to consider. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts as well. So, yeah. So, there we go. So, two victories against African teams in our history: Nigeria and Zambia. Now, another test lies ahead, and that's Cameroon. And Cameroon, as we know, are finalizing their preparations for the World Cup. They've opened the campaign on November 24 against Switzerland before facing off against Serbia on the 28th and December 2 against Brazil. Rigobert's song basically says that he's looking for 2 or 3 more pieces to the puzzle, and this friendly will basically be the sort of decider for this game in particular. Now, who are some of the players to keep a close eye on for this fixture in particular? Well, let's start with the captain of Cameroon, Vincent Obubakar, and he plays for Al Nasser in Saudi Arabia. 33 goals, 88 games for his country, a must-watch for the Cameroonian outfit. Brian Mbuemo plays for Brentford, so he's another one that we can look at quite closely. And Olivier Encham at Swansea City, he's another one to keep a very, very close eye on. Umar Gonzalez. Umar Gonzalez plies his trade for Accio, and they ply their trade over in Ligue 1 in France. November 9 is not a FIFA date, so quite likely Jamaican players and the top Cameroonian players might not play. However, the coach did say he's looking at some more pieces to the puzzle. So even if Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting at Bayern Munich might not be available, even if Jean-Do Fuchs at Peterborough United might not be available, even if Jeremy Ebobwes at San Jose Earthquakes may not be available, it still will be a strong and sturdy Cameroonian outfit on the field because they have players in their local team at Coton Sport, in addition to that at Yaoundé Canon, that they can rely on. So they do have players with pedigree, experience under their belt. So I'm really expecting a tough game, a really, really tough game. And an opportunity as well for the head coach as well to look at what we have locally and saying, okay, of the 23 I've carried, I can work with U3. And then integrate U3 into the pool we have for the Gold Cup and World Cup qualifying and beyond. So that's something that we can bear in mind. Why not? Who are the Jamaican players available for this fixture? So since it is not a FIFA date, the players that will be available are ones that are ending their season that will be knocked out from action in MLS and USL. So players that are not involved in the playoffs in the USL and MLS, they will be available. And of course, players that ply their trade in the Jamaica Premier League, and possibly as well, players that ply their trade in Asia as well. Greetings, my G. Now is the time to bring our midfield. I do think that we need some reinforcements there, absolutely. But the point is that for this fixture in particular is not a FIFA window, so we will not have the privilege to have the likes of Antonio, Bailey, Lowe, etc. Because the EPL goes on break the 12th, the 13th of November. The fixture is on the 9th, so the players will not be available if you understand what I mean. So that's something that we have to bear in mind. So this is the chance to look at the local players, show me what you got, go out there. Do you want to be on the plane for the Gold Cup? Do you want to be part of the pool for the Gold Cup and World Cup qualifying and beyond? So there we go. IS App says, up, Simon. Hey, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hope everyone is doing well. And I appreciate you all for tuning in today. Will Damian Lowe and Andre Blake be there? It really depends on their progression in terms of the playoffs. I personally think that Andre Blake is going to. I think Philadelphia Union are going to win the MLS, so they're going to go down to the wire in terms of the MLS playoffs for 2022. I fully expect that to happen. And you know what's the good news about the MLS playoffs is for this season in particular, the playoffs will run from October 15 to November 5. So they would be available. My only concern is that let's say Andre Blake wins the final on the 5th. They're going to be celebrating and partying the 6th and the 7th. He flies out on the 8th and has a game on the 9th. So that is my concern there. So MLS players who are knocked out of the playoffs, yeah, I fully expect them to basically go out there and make themselves be available. I expect it. I fully expect it, for certain. So, on to the playoffs, which starts on the 15th of October. So, basically, 2 weeks and 2 days from now. That's when we can look forward to. But as it relates to the teams, where Inter Miami is concerned, right now, where they sit in the table, they would qualify for the playoffs, first round of the playoffs. So, the first round of the playoffs. So, if they can maintain their top 7 position in the Eastern Conference, then they will be able to qualify for the MLS playoffs. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, bro. It's a pleasure. Pleasure to hear from you guys and see you guys. Really, really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's well appreciated and it's good. It's really, really good. So, really, really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And you guys know March 26, 2023 is a crucial game because that is the Nations League game. And if Jamaica wins that game, then they will qualify for the semifinals of the CONCACAF Nations League. Yep, that's right. If they win against Mexico, they will qualify for the semifinals of the Nations League. They need a win. It's as simple as that. They need a win. So that's the situation. That's exactly where we are. Loud Music Entertainment says, yes, sir. This will be a strong Cameroon final squad before the World Cup in Qatar. The thing is, though, I expect Cameroon to bring a strong squad to the World Cup. For this friendly, though, I think it's just a last chance to look at 1 and 2 more new faces. That is honestly what I expect. Honestly, personally, with NICU, I'm a bit surprised. Because I felt that he was progressing so nicely at Charleston Battery. And with a loan move at the Cincinnati second team, I felt things were happening. Yes, he's 21, but bearing in mind that a move in Jamaica beckons, personally, I just think that he shouldn't be in Jamaica beyond January 2023. That's how I feel. So, yeah. And hopefully, this move to Mount Pleasant, he can go there and star, shine, grow, develop. So that is something that is desperately needed. We need it. We need him to go out and do well. Reggae Boys fans, Echo says you believe you can win. You think you can beat Cameroon? Nice, love the confidence. Dig up yourself, Simon. Good morning, sir. Dig up myself. Is Abukar Cameroon's best player? One of. Any more players in the squad? No? No, sir. Not at all. So, Reggae Boys fans, what are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How will Jamaica do against Cameroon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts, 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105.